Are you gonna run up there and do the flag, or? Yeah, I'm gonna try to put it on. Well, because put it on speaker view, you can do, but you're not really talking, so it won't just. I'm trying. I was trying to make the screen just of the flag, but it's of everybody. So I have a flag on my desktop. It's just so you know, it doesn't. It's just one of the screens that shows it. Unless you say something. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I did not send Deanne and Jill a specific link this time. They should figure out how to join if they want. I just thought of that.
Oh, we got here. We need part number 10, quick.
There we go. Thanks, Kent.
Dawn, did you have, I see you had your hand up. Do you have a question?
Or you just wait?
Dawn, I don't know if you can hear me, but I promoted you so you can speak. I noticed you had your hand up. I don't know if you have a question, but you can speak it if you do. Or maybe that was a mistake. I'm not sure. All right, well,
I'm mute. Okay, can you hear me now?
yeah.
Hey, Randy. It's Dawn, your neighbor. Can Randy hear me? No? Well, anyway, I'll let you guys get back to business. Hi, Randy. I just wanted to, I miss you guys. I'll be back soon. Don't worry. I will come back healthy. I've had my vaccinations. I'm almost through with my 2-week, whatever it is, you stay in the house all the time. However, it's warm down here. I don't mind sitting outside. So I'll see you later. I'm just interested in that meeting. Bye-bye.
Hi, Dawn. Kent, I have a question for you when you have a moment.
Okay, I'm here.
I went into the live stream public health update from the county public health, and they were talking about strategies for appealing to the state, to CDPHE, to try and get more transparency and equitability in the vaccine distribution. And they may be requesting letters of support or signatures on a joint letter from the towns. And I just wondered if that would be okay to add as an action item, just to give,
Sure.
have the board give a nod.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you talking to us, Jerry?
There's John. He always looks so relaxed.
Mr. Laid Back.
Yeah. That a Barca lounger? Do they even still make Barca loungers?
Boy, wouldn't you want to know?
You know, I just figured you're probably old enough to appreciate a Barca lounger.
Oh man, they were the life.
They were- Yeah.
It got worse from there.
Yeah.
I was going to get a kitty mask and I forgot to.
Oh, well, you have the real thing roaming around.
Yeah, I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat.
Hi there, Mary. Hi, Rob.
That poor guy's famous now.
Oh, he's awesome. That was the greatest video yet.
It was terrific. I think we should all have animal avatars. You know,
We should.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, we should.
it would just make it better, really.
It would.
Hey, everybody.
Hi there, Tim. How are you
Hey,
this evening?
Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Good.
Good. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Are we expecting Paul and Keith tonight? Okay,
I haven't heard that they're not gonna be here.
all righty. Tim, do you have the ability to put your name in instead of your phone number, or does Jen have the ability to do that?
I think Jen does. I don't have the ability to do any
Yeah,
of that.
I'll do it. I'll
Thank
do
you.
it.
Thanks, Jen.
Paul came by earlier and picked up his packet, so
Okay,
see, I said his name and then he appears.
haha, and here he comes.
Picture of his house, not necessarily him, you know. I didn't say it 3 times, so.
Hi, Paul.
Just say hint again 3 times. He appears.
I'm texting Keith and I'm not getting a response, Lynette. so.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead. He usually turns up, so, but let's get a move on. It is 6:01 PM. It is February 23rd, 2021, and I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Georgetown to order. Would you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of
To the
the United
flag of the
States of
United States
America,
of America,
to the
and
republic
to the
for
republic
which it stands,
for which it
one
stands,
nation,
one nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for
liberty
all.
and justice for
And roll call. I am Lynette Kelsey, police judge. Rob Connell.
Here.
Keith is not here yet. John Jennings,
Here.
Paul Hinton,
Here.
Mary Smith,
Here.
and Tim Allen.
here.
Thank you. And we have agenda approval. I have one item I would like to add to the agenda, and that would be a letter of support that may be requested by the county public health. Let's make that action item number 4. Anybody else have anything to add? In that case, would anybody like to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll make
I'll make
that
the-
motion.
Okay, I'll second. John.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Audience business. Members of the audience have 5 minutes to present any matter of interest not already on the agenda. Jen, do you know if we have anyone for audience business?
No, I have not heard from anybody, and I typed a message in the chat. If they do want to speak, they could let us know. Haven't heard anything, so I'd say no.
Okay, thank you. Seeing none, we will move on. The payables that we have before us tonight are from February 5th through February 18th, 2021. Any questions or comments on the payables?
I have a question under the general fund, the multiple checks, building permit, business license, sales tax license, STR permits to Gary McNally. What is that? Refunds of what happened?
He decided to not go ahead with his short-term rental. He is giving up his short-term rental license. It was a renewal. So since we had not gone through the whole processing of his renewal, it was decided to go ahead and refund what he had paid.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about the payables?
Make a motion to approve the payables dated February 5th through February 16th of 2021.
18th.
18th of 2021.
Okay. Is there a
I'll
second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved
A
and seconded.
plague? My God.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the payables from February 5th, 2021 through February 18th, 2021 as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. The minutes that we have before us tonight are from our February 9th, 2021 meeting. Anybody have any comments or corrections?
I have two questions.
Okay.
Possible corrections.
Okay.
Page 3, the second paragraph, the last line, Georgetown's water rights include a refill right. Is that supposed to read also include a refill right? Or are we giving our refill right to Blackhawk? And I guess that's a question for Jerry. Except we can't hear you, Jerry.
No, the town is not giving a refill right to Blackhawk. The town independently has a refill right. So I think it's correct as stated. I mean, we could say also include.
Also includes a refill right.
But
yeah.
But that might be surplusage, but we can, in addition to the water rights the town has, there's a refill right in the lake.
And then on page 5, the last paragraph, the last sentence, I believe it should read, the county requested Alyssa do research on costs, not the state, even though we're not the county.
No, I agree with that.
Okay. Oh,
I had a couple back on page 3 in the second to the last paragraph, third line. The H in Blackhawk should be capitalized. And then back on the first page, under agenda approval, I don't think we amended the agenda, added anything, so it would be as presented.
Okay.
Any other corrections or comments on the agenda, on the minutes? I'm sorry. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 9th, 2021 meeting as amended.
So moved.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the February 9th, 2021 meeting as amended. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. New and unfinished business. First on our agenda tonight is a matter that was tabled from our last meeting, and that is the approval of the RFP for the design of banners for Argentine Street. So Kent, did you want to take this?
Sure. Kyle, there were some questions regarding why the difference in amounts for the banner design proposal. And Kyle provided some additional explanation that was included in your packets. Basically additional designs for the visitor center parking lot and also the annex parking lot. And I think it gives a pretty detailed explanation. You can either leave those designs out, or we can include those and go ahead and pay for the $900 additional for the 2 additional designs. And otherwise, the recommendation remains for the Bullfinch proposal, whether it's for the initial designs or for the $900 additional for the couple additional designs for the couple additional areas. That would be up to the board to decide. Right.
So just go
Oh,
ahead,
sorry.
Mary.
It
Go ahead.
sounded like the recommendation then from Kyle was to replicate some of the themes to save some money, but since we've got 2 members of BPC on, maybe they can share what they were thinking.
Amanda, would you like to?
I was not privileged to review the RFP, but the intent that we submitted for was to update the themes that were still applicable. So there are themes on the existing banners that need to be changed. So I think that the intent of his RFP was that it would be a mix of both. There will be updated themes that are cohesive, as well as new themes that are more relevant to what's happening now.
Okay.
That helps clarify anything.
Justin, did you have anything that you could add to help us understand?
No, I think that was pretty much the gist of it, what Amanda said. I believe that they were offering a little bit more comprehensive service than the other proposals were, as far as different reviews and the amount of reviews, and working with us to kind of come together and kind of crystallize what we want to going forward. So that was kind of one of the reasons we went to push with those guys.
Okay. So let me throw my 2 cents worth in. As I understood it from Kyle's response to my email, was that if we went with the $3,750, we would get themes for just the gateway. If we wanted to spend the additional $900, he would develop themes that were more suited for the annex parking lot and the visitor center parking lot. And that would give us more variety to replicate as we wished, as time goes on, as banners need to be replaced. That was what I understood from his reply. So.
I have a question. In the notes, it says $900 for poles at the visitor center. And can somebody tell me what that means?
It's also at the annex center parking lot, Rob.
Where it says and, it's not for the poles themselves, it's for the design for the banners for those poles.
Oh,
We've
these are
got-
the ones that are on the light poles that
Yes.
are on Argentine?
And they're around the parking lot at the visitor center as well. And they're right, at the annex parking lot here, right across from the Alpine.
Got it. Thank you.
So it's not the poles, it's the banners, the design for the banners. Yeah, on the poles. So I personally, I like what I've seen come out of Kyle's drawing room, and I like what he's been able to come up with for branding. And I think the additional $900, I think it'd be money well spent, just to have a lot of variety to be able to reuse.
That's included in the 4650, or is that addition
Correct.
to the 4650?
No, that would be included in that amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be the final amount.
I would
Other
agree. I agree with Lynette. I like the idea of, more designs, and we can switch them around and stuff. Just the extra $900 seems like a good value.
You don't always want to go for the cheapest bid. You tend to get what you pay for. So
Well, how about I make a motion to award the banner design project to Bullfinch for the amount of $4,650 and authorize the police judge to sign the associated documents and forms approved by the town attorney and town staff.
Well, how about
I
I'll make
second it?
We have one motion and 2 seconds.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So next we have the Georgetown Business COVID-19 Relief Grant. And who would like to start us off on that?
I'll start it and hand it off to Justin since he was primarily involved, I believe, along with Amanda. We had received a donation to the Georgetown business community, and it was routed through the town of Georgetown. The Business Promotions Commission was, Justin was approached in order to have this donation go to the town in order to provide relief funds to the Georgetown business community. So that was received at last meeting, and then or authorized to be received. And then Justin had already set up a application process and had contacted we had contacted different businesses in order for them to apply for those funds. It wasn't a huge amount. It was $5,000 that was donated to the town, and through this to be able to benefit different Georgetown businesses. And I'll let Justin describe how that process was carried out through the rest of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we received a charitable grant, like Kent said, from an individual with a connection to Georgetown that was made through an organization called Economic Growth Corporation. It was in the amount of $5,000, and their instructions were to take this money and do the most good for the local businesses that you possibly can. So with those instructions in mind, we set up we formed a subcommittee of the Georgetown Business Promotions Commission, and that was myself, Amanda, and Mary. And between the three of us, we developed a program to determine the best way to distribute to the businesses who would apply. So we came up with an application process. We came up with a scoring system. We came up with a different way to just judge all these companies who might apply. And we sent this application out to every, excuse me, we emailed this to the emails on file with the town for every Georgetown business license holder. We made an announcement in the town email on Fridays, and we made numerous posts in local Facebook groups to get the word out to all these different companies to give everybody a chance to apply within a 2-week period. That 2-week period came and we received 10 or 11 different applications from businesses here. And after we got all those applications, the subcommittee, we met again and went through each and every application that we received on time and applied our judging criteria to that and came up with the best way to make the most impact with the money, the amount of money that we had. And at the end of the day, that was decided to be distributed to 6 businesses in Georgetown. Some of them were received in the amounts of $1,000 and some in the amounts of $500, totaling the grand amount of $5,000. And those businesses were submitted back to the town, along with letters for the applicants who weren't chosen to receive funds this time, and also for letters for applicants that were chosen to receive money to be included with the checks to be sent out. This was kind of, my understanding, a trial run between the donor and the town to kind of see what would happen and how things would go with this amount. We knew right away from the very beginning that the amount wasn't going to be a life-changing amount for any of these businesses. But the intent that I understand is to get through this, get the money into the hands of the businesses as soon as we possibly could. And the next step now would be to kind of report that back to the Economic Growth Corporation and work with them in trying to get another round of funding here shortly.
So, yeah, I was going to ask if you'd gotten any feedback on how the program went from them yet, but if you haven't, that's fine.
No, I haven't been able to, or I haven't been in contact. I was planning on actually doing that sometime this week or next week. So it should be a short turnaround to report all that back and let them know what we've done and how we've fared.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why did the donor ask to be anonymous?
He did.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a local connection here, and his wishes were to be remain not anonymous.
Well, we got to give him like a year of free taxes or something like that. I got to thank the guy.
I'll make sure to buy him a drink.
Obviously, but we got to do something.
Convey our thanks, please.
Yeah, I will. I will be sure to convey the thanks from the town and our gratitude and appreciation for sure, and let him know that we certainly appreciate that, and we want to demonstrate that these funds did actually go to benefiting our businesses, and it made a big impact, even though it was only $5,000.
It all
helps.
I know who he is.
Well,
so
some people do.
Any other comments from the board? Yes, John.
I'd like to thank the committee for doing the work. It's really hard work. They did a great job, laying this out and going through, the different people that applied and whatnot. I looked it over. I thought it was wonderful. I really appreciate you guys doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will add that for the subsequent rounds, if they come to fruition, our intent now is to set up some sort of 501c3 organization to kind of facilitate this process. So this whole thing was kind of set it up, see how it goes, and then if we do in fact receive more money down the road, there will be a more formal process to handle these funds.
Okay, thank you very much. I would echo John's sentiments that serving on that kind of a committee is very difficult, and I appreciate your efforts. So,
thank you. Happy to do it.
So at this time, we have already approved the checks in the payables, but let's go through the formality of doing a motion to approve the distribution of that donation.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Mary.
I move to authorize the $5,000 donation to the town for disbursement to Georgetown businesses, to Georgetown Coffee and Tea for $1,000, Mother's Saloon, $1,000, Happy Cooker, $1,000, Clear Creek Inn, $1,000, His and Her Salon, $500, and Stonehenge for $500.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the distribution of the $5,000 donation. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Justin.
Justin. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Amanda.
Amanda.
Thanks, you guys.
Since we're discussing 5-star, go ahead and stay on. So the Promotions Commission has already drafted a letter to be sent on to the county, and we want to discuss tonight whether the town should also generate a letter in support of encouraging the county to proceed with development and implementation of a 5-star program so that the application could be sent to the state for review. We could apply for the grant monies that are available to fund the administration of that program. And eventually it would allow it's a voluntary program. So anybody who wants to opt in, if it gets approved by the state, would be able to operate at the next level lower on the risk dial. So for instance, if we were in level red, no, not level red, never, scratch that one. If we were in level orange, they would be able to operate in level yellow. And if we were in yellow, they would be able to operate in blue. So any thoughts on that from the board?
I like the idea of going ahead and supporting that. I mean, it just helps the business community and seems like it steps up their game and seems like a good plan.
Okay.
I agree with John.
Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah, I think if it support the business community, that's a good thing to do. I'm in favor.
Okay, thank you, Tim. You were going to say something, Rob?
I am most agreeable.
Okay, very good.
I agree with Rob.
Okay. The one thing that I would like to just put out there is that when this letter gets drafted, if everybody's in agreement, I would really like it to encourage and also to stress that we're not pushing to go into a level that is not when it's not safe to do so. If the numbers don't support going into that higher capacity, I would just like it phrased so that we're conscious of our decision and would only do so if it was safe to do so. Is any thoughts on that?
I think that's workable.
What is it called? An ounce of prevention or an ounce of caution is a pound of prevention?
Something like that.
Don't quote me, because I
Okay.
certainly can't quote anybody.
We want to see that in the minutes, Rob.
I know I'm not on the board, but would it be okay if I chimed in on the 5-star, like the metrics really quickly?
Sure.
So why I think the business community is so eager to continue to see this through is obviously for the kind of kind of the comfort it would give us if we ended up moving upwards on the dial. Right now, Clear Creek would, for all intents and purposes, would be eligible for blue based off the numbers we're seeing in a 5-star setting. We wouldn't have that sort of grandiose case count or the increase in cases that could put us at an increased risk. And the whole point of the 5-star dial isn't to just throw the doors open, but to give the businesses safe options to operate and continue to maintain. So the hope is that the county has made it very clear this is not their priority, and we just don't want them to forget about it, because if we need it, we want to be able to utilize it. So we appreciate Town of Georgetown taking this up, and Business Promotions very much is grateful for the Board of Selectmen and potentially endorsing this.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Paul, did you have anything? Okay. All right.
Can I
yes,
just jump
Mary.
in a second? Lynette, I appreciate what you were saying as far as the health and safety, but I think by us encouraging the county to adopt a 5-star program, the program parameters will incorporate the health and safety anyway. That's part of the purpose of the program. So to have all these caveats, we'd like to support it, but don't forget about this, then I think it gets bogged down in too many nuances.
Point well taken. Okay. So is everybody, I guess there is a proposed motion in the packet, I believe, or no?
No.
So would somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to go ahead with the 5-star certification program and the letter of support.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to create a letter of support in favor of going forward with the 5-star program. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Our added item number 4. So I went on to the county's Facebook page and watched the live stream of the public health update from today. And what I was able to glean from the end of their discussion, particularly in the fact that Dr. Ryan is not getting clear messages from the state on why our vaccine supply has been non-existent for the last 2 weeks. And he expressed frustration. The commissioners expressed frustration. They're trying to figure out what we might be able to do, strategies to request more transparency in those decision-making processes, because there are counties that are receiving a lot more vaccine supply than Clear Creek County is. And it was supposed to be based on your population and percentages of that, and it doesn't appear to be that. And so I just wanted to be, just so that we're not waiting until our next meeting, if we get a request from the county to either generate our own letter of support that requests more transparency and equitability in the distribution of the vaccine, or if we are requested to sign a joint letter that the board is in agreement right now, so that we're not having to wait till our next meeting. How do you feel about that?
That'd be great. I think it would be a good idea to find out. I mean, we kind of feel like the Safeway that, is last to get renovated.
Good analogy.
And it's not Clear Creek County alone that is getting short strawed on this.
Oh, I thought it was Clear
distribution.
Creek County
It's
alone.
not only us. There are other small counties who are being left out of the they're not getting the same percentage per population counts as they ought to be. And so we may end up there. The suggestion was made for the commissioners to contact CCI, Colorado Counties Inc. And then there's another county organization, and then perhaps CML might be able to shed some light on it. And then just put together a letter or gather letters together to send in to request more transparency in how these decisions are being made and why we haven't received any vaccine last week or this week. And they had to push the second doses that they were planning to schedule this week, they had to push them to next week. And if that continues, it throws all of our second doses off and gives us no more first doses to distribute either. So just to throw a little bit more detail in there. So I saw a thumbs up from John, thumbs up from Mary, and Paul and Rob. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay, so that's a consensus vote. All right. Do we need to make it more formal than that?
I don't think so. You're just getting direction to pursue a kind of a course of action. There's no real document to sign or anything yet.
Okay. All right. Very good. Staff items. The COVID update was more or less in our action items, so I didn't have anything further. Anybody else have anything? Yes, Kent.
I have one, just an information item, and I guess it's just part of the regular staff report. As far as we will be putting in an application for a bike trail grant for the concrete that we didn't do on the Gateway project for the bike trail that's along the west side of Argentine there, next to the hill. Cindy has spoken to me about it over the last week, and she contacted somebody with CDOT that encouraged us to apply. So we are going to apply. It will obviously take some funds from us, but we had talked about last year setting aside part of the street project to get that accomplished this year anyway, even when we said we couldn't include it, took it out of the original Gateway project. So this would be a way to have some shared funds in order to complete that little portion of bike trail along there. So,
all right.
And then the other thing, just information I included in an item that we are going to be submitting information to the county regarding the water agreement for the, I'm forgetting the name of it all of a sudden, but the water that's used for the Bighorn project as far as the replacement of the water and for usage. And we had requested last year, each year we have to do a annual estimate of the amount of water, and we have up to 5 acre feet. And we are still below 1 acre foot as far as our estimated usage. So we're not coming close to even a majority usage of what we had agreed to in the agreement with the county for that water. And we didn't even end up using the portion that was estimated last year, but you always estimate just a little bit high as far as what that is, but it's still under 1 acre foot. So that's a good thing.
Are we charged based on actual use rather than estimate?
Yes,
Okay,
based on the actual amount, so.
okay. All right. Marshall Williams, I see you're here tonight. Did you have anything for us?
Apparently not.
I guess not.
Apparently not.
Randy.
He's
Stay
checking his
hydrated,
computer. Randy, did you have
Randy,
anything to offer?
Did I lean forward or something? I
No,
do not.
well,
Lynette
we're-
just asked if you had anything to offer as far
We're
as
in staff
report.
reports,
Police
just didn't
department.
know if you had
Oh,
something
you
for
were
us
asking
tonight
me,
or not.
we're continuing the staff report. Give me a sec, let me turn this noise down. I don't particularly, I think I can respond to questions. Anybody that pays attention to the news or rumor mill or everything else has pretty much put out everything we've got going on, and we have been busy. Hopefully it doesn't turn into anything bad. Our citizens have expressed concerns about what they consider an increase in crime. And mostly our increase in crime has been property crime, being the stolen vehicles, that we're up to 7 now, counting the one that we recovered with the bad guy. I'm sorry, with the suspects inside of the
Suspect,
vehicle.
yes.
Yeah. And
And
that
that's since
led to-
October, right, Randy?
Correct. It might even count the one in late June, early July, which was very strange circumstances. We've had 2 of those that they couldn't produce their keys or say how the vehicles were stolen, but there was no damage or any indication that they were taken with anything but the keys. As in all of our vehicles, except the most recent one, which was actually the ignition was compromised. All the rest were with the keys. So we're certainly encouraging people to start locking their vehicles, and we're just not at a point we're allowed to leave our keys in the vehicles. The people that we have addressed and the suspects that we have identified through some of our forensics are not locals. They're part of a much larger group that this is their activity, and their entrepreneurship is collecting vehicles from everywhere for whatever means. We do have something moving forward. It's a slow process, and trying to connect many to many is going to be difficult, but it's given us a lot to do. So like I said, mostly I can just give you that information about that. We have issues with sometime traffic traveling westbound, where apparently some complaints were received by people that were diverted from the frontage road. And that's just necessary when we have to do that, when every street in the town limits were blocked because of everybody trying to use the frontage road as a shortcut. It inconvenienced some. As always, local citizens or people with the reason to come to Georgetown were allowed to bypass those safety closures, but we still heard about some complaints. On the other hand, we received probably as many or more thank yous from citizens who were impacted by it, and preferred that we continue to do that when it's necessary, which was only one closure, I guess, a short one on Friday evening, and a larger one the following morning for under 2 hours. So we're just trying to do everything we can, and as unfortunate it is for those that are impacted negatively, we have to really focus on the public safety aspect of keeping the town available to move around in. If anybody has any questions about any of those subjects, I don't think I have much else to offer.
Okay.
Just have
Staff
one
report
question.
wise. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And this might be an obvious question, but let's say somebody gets their car stolen. What should they do?
Call the police.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, you call
It-
911.
it's kind of a obvious answer too. I don't mean to be glib, but
Yeah.
we would be interested to know. We would be interested to know when they see something suspicious, whether it's vehicles or persons or just something out of the ordinary. I've gotten some reports of that, and I've clarified as to why we have, excuse me, why we have particular vehicle driving around the streets very slowly at 2 o'clock in the morning. And we've identified that person who has 2 different vehicles and is on legitimate delivering those that get the Summit Daily newspaper, which apparently there are a lot more in town than you would imagine. It's not even a consideration for doing anything more nefarious than just driving slowly and passing out his newspapers. So we do encourage it. As soon as we got that report, we were able to dial that in and figure that out. But I was more than happy that the citizens came and told me they see this. So we know where to respond and how to direct our resources. We still only have our limited resources. Our plan to add the 4th officer is in the process. The number of people that are applying, there was a lot of interest to begin with, and the number of people that actually have moved forward and filled out an application have been a lot less. I don't know if it's my winning personality or the pay or whatever it might be. Maybe I have a reputation that nobody wants to work for me. That's what I have to assume.
That's what
We
Jim
do
said.
have a very good candidate in the process, but it's not going to be something very soon because he has some other things to clear up to be able to make himself available. And that's just work-wise.
Okay. I did want to put my 2 cents worth in on this. I heard from somebody that I know that lives up in Empire that observed a van driving around the streets of Empire and around repeatedly. And this was during the day last weekend. So I believe she reported it. I hope she did. And so, it just goes back to if you see something strange, say something. So.
And like I said, we really need to not be leaving the keys in the car anymore. It's something that I practiced myself for a long time. Locking our doors, locking our vehicles, kind of keeping the valuables not overly apparent. All of our suspects that we are looking at are from the metro area with extensive histories and backgrounds that this is more of a group, and this is all along the I-70 corridor. Summit County is finding the same results with some of their people they've been able to take into custody and some of their evidence also.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Anyone else have anything for us to talk about tonight or just share?
Hey, Paul, is that a family photo?
Yeah, right. I ran into a neighbor today when I was walking my dogs, and he said he was just coming back from the bank, and the teller told them that the ATM camera picked up a picture of a mountain lion walking down 6th Street at 12:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And he also had a mountain lion in his yard last Saturday I think he said about 9 or 9:30 in the morning. So these times are not the dusk and dawn times that we typically think about that they're active. So do we have a mountain lion problem here?
Not in Ward 3, just Ward 2.
I would say we don't have a mountain lion problem as much as a mountain lion condition. The favorite video is the one with all three of them, which we're presuming is a mother and a couple of yearlings, right there in Ward 2. Up in Ward 1, we have a lot of sightings and tracks, and they're becoming more effective at hunting. There's an unsubstantiated report of that number being reduced to 2 for reasons that are being looked into.
Okay.
But as always over the years, they come around to this part of their area they like to explore, which is, from my limited understanding of wildlife, but dealing with it a lot, is up to 60 square miles. And then they will stay in one area for a period of time and then move on. And with that, we have a lot of video footage, thanks to all of our new technology and Ring cameras and every other camera. But it's always been a concern, same as our bear population. I don't think anybody's feeding the mountain lions, and they're not getting into the trash cans, but they're definitely there, so we should be aware. There is no plan. We keep getting asked if there's a plan to do anything about them, and the answer is no, unless it becomes necessary. That's the Colorado Parks and Wildlife position, and it always has been that we are living in the area where they live.
Mhm.
So it's more of a condition than a problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Doesn't Joe Walters weigh in on this at all?
It's his position. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as weigh-in,
Well, no, if that's his position, that's what I'm asking.
yeah, absolutely. That's the across the state position of the Colorado Parks and Wildlife. And the times where there's been other issues have involved livestock, obviously any threat to human life, but pets, unfortunately, are not on the list.
All right. So be careful out there.
That too.
Yep. Anything else tonight?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Good meeting. Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Night.